Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I have a very special guest today, one of my closest friends. Her name is Lena.
Hello.
And we wanted to talk about friendship today. And the reason the background is so dark is we have a heat advisement today. It's going to be really, 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 really hot in Boulder. So I'm making it as dark as possible to keep it cooler in here when it gets real hot later. So, yeah, so we're just kind of winging it. It's just, you know, so many people ask me, like, why don't you have any friends, or why do you have so few friends? And uh, when you have experienced enlightenment, things become real simple, and you can see, and when you've done like a lot of a lot of work on your self-awareness, things become really simple and really obvious. And it's like I pretty much have two go-to things. If I'm stressed about something, worried about something, I do Byron Katie's work on it, or I go present. To me, that's the answer to everything. It solves everything. I can go within. I really don't need anybody else. So I'm completely autonomous. However, for entertainment's sake, and sometimes for further insights and expansion, I go to my dear friend Lena here, because she has managed to she's managed to support me in such a way that's perfect for me. It's absolutely perfect for me. And I think part of the reason is because she's been enlightened too. She knows what it is to be on the other side, I guess you could say, in the 5D and whatnot. So she sees things like from a different angle, I think. But all right, so here's typically the problem and it's I think what's happening in our world also is that as things are evolving and changing and shifting, and we're going to this new earth, and we're going through this great awakening, we're leaving behind friendships that are gossipy, where one person is projecting on the other person their own fears and insecurities and things like that, which are the things that drive me nuts about having a friendship. It's like the minute there's a problem or something like that, I see how they handle it, and usually they're projecting. Usually they jump right in with a bunch of advice of what they think you should do, and they get kind of controlling, or they jump on top of you, or they'll even like try to like, well, I'm intuiting an issue here or a problem, and they start doing like they start throwing stuff at you that you didn't ask for, and they start like reading into things, probably to try to impress me. I don't know, but like, oh, I know this, and I know this about your man, and it or I mean, for me in particular, I get a lot of people who try to use me for what I do, and for free, and so they'll, you just start to see it from all over the place. Anyway, Lena didn't do any of those things. And I do have a couple of other really good friends. So she's not my only friend, but she's just done an incredible job at being a friend. So I wanted to do a talk with her to show what we are coming into the new earth, the types of friendships we're going to have, and to give everybody an idea of how friendships can be different than they are. Because I know that the normal way that people try to support me is normal for everybody, but not for me. Not for me anymore. Okay, so you go ahead, Lena.
Well, no, I was just thinking that I wouldn't be here if I would have been any of the things you listed. And I mean also what you said with the using, and I feel like this is also, and I hope really that everyone is coming to the point where they see how it is never a friendship if someone is manipulating you, or if someone is wanting to put blame or guilt on you, and if there's some kind of a really toxic codependency. That is not a friendship. That is anything but that. Yeah. So, and I think also what you mean with the whole complaining thing is like, I mean, I also have people in my life that I allow sometimes to complain to me, because I know I'm kind of their go-to to do that, and because I have an open ear in that way. But at one point or another, I'm also like, hey, stop. We talked about this before. Have you looked at it in another way, and et cetera, et cetera? Because if not, it really gets tiring and draining. And
Yes.
you're not doing that or anything, but just in a way of like just saying that is also sometimes okay or normal if one person is, and I don't mean evolved in a way of like, oh, higher or better or whatever, but it's just like experience things in a different way than others already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think what we also talked about before is the difference between listening and hearing, because some people, they just want someone that they can talk to, and the other person should just hear, or wants to hear, but not listen. Because when you listen, you take a step back, you take in whatever the other person wants to tell you, you let them do what they think is right, and then you come in with understanding and trying to see the whole scope. Like, for example, let's say you're talking bad about another friend, or you're talking bad, or you say like, oh, this annoyed me, or this happened. And then, of course, you have your friends back, but you also have the other person's back in a way, because you try to be the neutral part. You have your friends back 100%, but I'm not trying to there's a saying that I just remember. It's like, do you remember that when you once channeled that, you don't put blame on other people, you just see what puzzle pieces are left and then what to do with them.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
It's like you try to find a solution for whatever situation you're in, and you try to see the good and the best way out of it. And you're not just standing behind your friend and looking from their point of view, but you as a friend, you go the full cycle, and you try to find other ways and be like, hey, have you already thought about the other way of seeing it? And that way you fully support your friend.
Yes. Yeah. And we'll do things like we'll examine it with the tarot. We use that as a tool too. Like, well, what does God have to say about this? What does God say we should do? And we'll start looking at cards. We'll pull oracle cards. We'll pull tarot cards and things like that. But like, if it's fairly common for us to complain about our masculines. So, when that's happened, we do a good job of not bashing the masculines, but instead we listen, and we kind of go as we go along, kind of like she said, like including everybody, and not picking sides or being we're not segregating or causing division between anybody. We're saying, okay, so today this is how we're feeling about it, this is how we're looking at it, this is how we adjust. And then there's not a feeling of, you know what, I can't stand him, you shouldn't be with him, that's it, he doesn't know how to blah blah blah, he's too immature, any of that. There's never any of that. It's like, okay, and how do you feel about what just happened? Okay, well, I feel this, this, and this. Okay, so let's go through this and see what we can do to take a look at it from another angle that releases us of the pain or the suffering, or here's how we can grow from it. We'll do Byron Katie together. And I've taught Lena how to do Byron Katie. And so we've gone through, we can do it verbally or written or whatever we need to. We know how to also ask for what we need, so I think we do a good job also of validating each other's feelings, and just saying something like, oh, wow, I might feel insecure, or she might feel insecure. We have our emotional days. We have our upset days. We have days where we're just agitated, even to talk to each other. We go through it all. But when each other goes through whatever it is we're going through, we're like, wow, I can totally understand that you're feeling that way. I totally get it. I did that just 3 days ago. We relate to it. So we validate the other person, and then we help them walk through it without any judgment of anybody else involved. You know what I mean? Like, just all inclusive. And everything is about healing and growing and learning. There never comes a point where this is too much and that person's out or whatever, unless we actually feel like something, you know, something that's a real good, healthy boundary, like you realize somebody, you know, maybe did something to you that was really malicious or something like that. And you realize you're dealing with somebody who might be a narcissist or a psychopath even, or somebody who just has no compassion. So the other person might back the other person up and confirm something and say, yeah, I don't think this is a good, healthy connection. I think this feels toxic. You know what I mean? But if the other person, even if we verified that for the other person and help support them in that way, if the other person comes back and apologizes and all this great stuff, and then we go to you know, to each other again, and it's like, oh, well, the person came over and we figured it out. We learned from it. We grew from it. It was great. Then the other person jumps right back in and says, all right, awesome. If you approve and you feel really good about it, then awesome. So I support you in it again. It doesn't become this, well, I told you so, and I knew that, you know? So, okay, what else? Your turn.
Yeah. I feel also it's not, that's actually a good thing too. It's like your turn, my turn, where it's like give and give. We give and give. And in all ways that is, like you said, needed for the other one, because maybe we cried to each other, we've been angry, you know, we let the emotions onto the other and we did not take it personally, or let's say we really grow, not taking things personally when the other one is in a not so happy mood, let's say, and then we support however we can, you know, it's like, how can I help you, how can I support you? We do that, and sometimes then we can help each other, and sometimes it's okay, let's talk tomorrow again, I give you an update how I'm feeling, because I now need to do this or that in order to feel better. Mm-hmm. So it really is support full around. Another thing I want to mention is abandonment, how we but that's also something we learned, I feel like, and we grew stronger, that we're not afraid of losing each other as friends. Because I feel like in other relationships or friendships, it's often that when you click with someone and you love someone, that you then maybe even can become codependent, just because it's like, oh wow, that person gets me, that person supports me. And we are not in a way of like, oh no, I'm your only friend, and oh no, you know, we need to talk to each other 24/7 or whatever. But it's like we give each other space to be our individual selves, and we know that our friendship and our trust and our honesty and everything good is so strong that we don't need to fear anything. That it's not like, oh, when you go out with that friend, oh my God, you're not thinking about me, or you're not, you know, how many times have we sent each other pictures of seeing a sign for each other or whatever, you know, it's like, it's just natural. And I think friendships, you don't click with everyone, and obviously you don't like everyone and not everyone likes you. And I don't think, you know, that's a problem, because it's how it is. But the ones that you do click, and the ones that you feel like are like your soul family, I think that is really important, that you learn to get to know each other, and that you allow the other person to grow, and that you allow the other person to also kind of make mistakes and not take it personally. And when you have fears, like for example, you could have fears of abandonment, or you could have fears of, I don't know, whatever, then you talk about it and you help each other out there. And yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I grow all the time in my friendship with you, which is really awesome. I love that feeling, like being able to look back and go, wow, I don't even think I am the same person I was a few months ago or whatever. And so like for me, okay, so I'll catch myself taking, you know, and allowing you to give to me and give to me and give to me and give to me, and you'll give me all day. You'll never stop. You're just a giver. You're incredibly generous and a wonderful giver. So I've had to consciously pull back sometimes and ask myself, is this situation balanced and fair? am I treating you as well as you're treating me? So it challenges me to like, sometimes I might be doing other things or buzzing around while I'm talking to you. And, I might be distracted and doing these other things. And, you're just in the background, just just giving and pulling cards and helping and all this wonderful stuff. So sometimes when I feel like it's been a little out of whack like that, and I'm taking and distracted and all that stuff, I'll say, you know what, I'm going to sit down today and do nothing but give to you, and that's been really good for me to be able to reflect on myself and how I am in any particular friendship or relationship or whatever, and just make sure that it's balanced, make sure that I'm giving back as much as I'm getting. So I think that that's a really good, healthy aspect of us too. And there have been times when I've just like done nothing but give to you. And that always feels good to me because you give so much. and
I feel like I love that I am also learning to receive by that.
Yes.
So it's perfect. I mean, it is we are give and give in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And we give to each other in different ways too, because, obviously, like if we were in person, then I could get all the affection that I want. I mean, I'm a big hugger and very, very cuddly. I love to hug and hold and all that kind of stuff. And it's hard. We can't really do that on Zoom. So, but it's like, it's good to keep that in mind, like what makes the other person feel good, like their love language or whatever, if you will.
Yes.
Or for them to, I mean, maybe you're fulfilled just being included while I'm making breakfast and whatnot, because you're often there when I'm making breakfast and things like that. Maybe that's enough for you. Maybe you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm just so happy to be a part of her making breakfast. So, yeah, it's kind of neat to be able to use all these neat tools to help each other learn and grow. What was the other thing about you were talking about? So yeah, the equal give and take. Is there something else you want to say?
Yeah, I want to say something else, and that is, I think what is also beautiful is because, I mean, you're in America, I'm in Germany. That means we are so far away, but we still have like the most incredible friendship. Mm-hmm. That it also shows that you don't need to live next doors to be friends. It shows that you can connect with someone that is far away, and you can feel like appreciated, loved, valued, not just because you're next to someone. And I mean because you are like the relationship guru, let's say, that also, I mean, we have proof that for long distance relationships, like friendship relationships, this is proof. So if anyone who's watching this and they are worried, because I know from your videos about your I just want to say your guests, your clients, how sometimes it's a problem of distance or whatever. And this is proof that it works. Yeah. One thing, but also another thing, which I think is amazing again, is like, I know the moment one or the other, or maybe both at the same time, who knows, when their man shows up, that we will be so supportive. And I mean, we both will cry happy tears for the other, and we will totally be all right with like not talking for however long, because we, it's like we give each other space as well. It's not like, oh, the man needs to fear friendship, or the man needs to, no, it's like the more love for the other, the better, in a way. So it's like really like, it's free. I think our friendship is very free in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if I was just thinking about like, if I'm ever like really mad or upset or something like that, you don't, and like you already said, like you don't take it personally, but it's also about like, you don't make it about you. you don't make whatever I'm talking about you. You truly are just there to support me. And sometimes you'll be like, okay, I know that you're really upset right now. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to just listen to you and let you vent? Or do you want me to help you find a different way to look at this, a different angle to look at it, so we can have some kind of an epiphany or realization about this? Or we'll share an experience, maybe that she might share an experience that she's had that was something similar, or, it's not like, you don't take the information the other person gives you and see a threat to yourself somehow in it, like I said something, just to somebody the other day, and it was just, I was just sharing myself. And then they said, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, well, I thought this was about me, And then I had to try to explain myself to the person to try to get them to understand what I was talking about and why I felt the way that I did. And I was like, that was a bunch of wasted energy there. There was but like, for me to have to go through all this explaining and whatnot, it was just, it's work, it's work when the other person gets offended or gets, makes it about them. So I think that that's an important thing going forward too, with more genuine, authentic friendships, is that you're gonna have those moments. You're gonna get triggered and things like that. But if you can take the information that you're getting from the other person and make it just totally, completely about them and be super excited, or like, I've also been, I also see, I don't know. I watch how people respond to me. And if they act just as excited as I am about something, like if I'm super excited about something and they're just as excited and they contribute to it too, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so incredible because you just blah, 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 blah. And oh my gosh, if the person seems to be reciprocating the same type of energy with me, I'm like, okay, they get me. They understand me. I can trust this. But if I'm like, and the other person's like, oh, that's nice. I can tell that that they're either taking it personally or they're making it about them. Well, I don't have that. That'd be nice if I had that, or any of that, I think we have to take ourselves out of the equation and really genuinely listen to the other person and validate them. Also, like, sometimes you'll talk about stuff and I'm listening in the background because we leave each other messages on Telegram a lot. And I'm just like, okay, she's going through something. And I'm listening to the tone more than what she's saying, So it's like, because I'm not in school. I don't relate to school stuff right now. She's in school. So she's going about all this stuff in school. But I'm listening to the tone and I realize that she's getting frustrated and having these feelings and things like that. So then what we'll do is we'll be like, do you want to Zoom? Let's have a talk about this. And then it's like, how can I support you? What can I do? Because there's been agitation there for a bit. And I know that's, if we don't tend to this, it's like our friendships, along with our relationships, our romantic relationships, should be this way also. There is an issue here. If there's an issue for them, there's an issue for me. How do we address this? How do we blow off some steam right now? Because I can tell you're about to blow. Or maybe you'll be like, maybe you'll actually be like, oh my God, I'm so frustrated. I don't even know what to do right now. I'm so up against the wall about this thing. So then we come together, we put our heads together and we do like Byron Katie together on it, or we hash it out or whatever. And then I might say, I missed this part or that part. Can you bring it all up to speed? Give me where you're at right now. And then we take a good look at it together and see what we can do to cause. And did that work the other day? This actually just happened with your schooling.
It did work. It helped. It changed my whole, it helped me go out of that panic. 100%, it helped so much. And I have to say, you're so right. It's like you working as a team and you working on your ego and not having the ego interfere in that way. Totally.
Yeah. And I remember there was a time when I was getting really frustrated, and I was thinking that it was you or something. I didn't, sometimes you get tested, your friendship will get tested. You'll have stuff happen where you're just like, is this working for me anymore or not? Like, it's like, not necessarily do I want to get rid of the friendship, but it's kind of like, how do we get through this kind of stuck place or whatever? Like, I remember what was happening is every time that we'd get on Zoom, we were fine on Telegram, but we'd get on Zoom and I'd be agitated and I'd just be snippy and like, I don't, negative, just really kind of snippy and negative and eager to get off the call. And just like, I wanted to go do other things. And I didn't like the way that I was acting or the way that I was treating you or the way that I was kind of short with you. And I saw the hurt in you. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And so I think it also, in a good relationship, you pull back and you examine and look at yourself. And so I did that. I told you, I don't want to talk to you anymore for a little bit until I figure this out. I got to find out why I'm acting like this. So I pulled back and I reflected on it, and I was like, I think I know what it is. I had like a bunch of pressing things, a lot of big pressing things, but I loved her so much that I pushed all of it aside and was like, let's get on Zoom right now. But when we were actually talking, I was really upset because I had all this to do that I wasn't getting to. So I was taking it out on her. So it was like unproductive in the sense that, yes, I love her and I wanted to get on the call and take care of her and myself and give back. But at the same time, I wasn't really doing that because I was acting like a jerk. So then when we figured that out, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I finally we have so many breakthroughs, you guys, so many epiphanies and realizations on a daily basis all the time. It's so incredible. So I told her, I said, all right, and I just told her the whole thing I just told you guys. And so then she's like, you know what? I do the same thing. And then I said, well, let's treat each other like we're each other's reward after we've gotten our other stuff done. And that's worked out really incredible ever since. We haven't had any kind of issue like that since. It's like, that's all we had to do is to get rid of our most pressing things for the day first. Then we can talk. And so we get all excited. We'll be talking on Telegram. I can't wait to talk to you. I'm just getting such and such and such done. And when that's done, I want to talk to you the second it's all done.
Yeah, totally.
And it was great for her too, because she was like, oh my God, I just realized I was doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That I had all this stuff pressing on me. She just wasn't taking it out on me like I was taking it out on her, but everybody everybody reacts different ways to different things. So anything else you want to mention before we end?
I feel like also we helped each other trust ourselves more.
Yeah.
Like then
empower each other to be,
100%, and also love oneself more as well. And I mean, again, like the whole thing where it's like we accept each other completely the way we are.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, but only if you be this or that or do this or say this or blah, no conditions. It's like you're a complete human being. I'm a complete human being. I mean, we both are also people, we do see more the heart and the soul rather than all the circumstances in a way. But yeah, it's just beautiful.
One thing that means a lot to me about you too is I may struggle with something, and it's maybe something that I'm dealing with a client, or maybe it's something that I'm dealing with it could be anything. But I'll be like, I'll be, I don't know, I'll leave some kind of a message for you that I'm pondering something or thinking something over or trying to just like figure it out and come up with an epiphany from it. And you will recognize, you will see, okay, she's saying this, but what I'm feeling is she's putting too much pressure on herself. And I feel like she's not acknowledging the growth she's had. And it's just like the normal person that I would leave a message like that for would just be like, oh, we'll just do this or that, or it'll reveal itself, or like you know, but she really thinks about it deeply, and she'll go, Amy, you are the most incredible, compassionate, loving, kind person I've ever known. And I know that that person that you're concerned about right now is so lucky to have you in their life. And look at the way that you're looking at it. Just the fact that you care so much, that you're leaving me this message, like, it just proves my point. You are one of the most beautiful people I've ever met. And I'll just like be all teary, like, oh my God, she hit to the heart of it. Like she saw, like she saw that my struggle and made me, and totally validated who I am. And instead of just like, sometimes we can be lazy in a friendship and we can listen to the message and just be like, yeah, whatever, they're doing their thing. And because she really strives to lift me up and to make me feel really incredible about myself. Like she was just saying, like, we help each other love ourselves more. So do you know how amazing you are to do that?
Well, you too. I mean, you just said it all.
That's not usual. I don't think that's usual.
Oh, but it's sad. Why not?
It can become that.
Yes, I believe in people. I believe in you. I believe in hearts. You can do this, guys. Yes.
And maybe you do have a friendship like this already, and that's amazing. So, it's really just about helping each other become more self-aware and growing and expanding. Stop the gossip, the complaining, all the negativity, jumping to conclusions, jumping all over the other person, shaming them, making them feel bad about how they feel, telling them they need help or you're concerned about them isn't helpful. Actually asking, how can I best support you in this is huge. And I totally understand how you feel. I would feel the same way in your situation. That's a tough situation. I've never been in that situation, so, but I can totally get that you would feel that way, because I think I would probably too. So, but when we do that, we can be each other's fuel. We can be we can help make each other stronger all the time, and show each other that we can believe in anything, like anything is possible. Why not?
100%. And I totally agree. Like, honestly, I don't know what, so many times I was like, I don't know what I would do without you. And also where it's like, God, thank you. Oh, and also I feel like, I think you mentioned that when we tried to film this video before, that, I mean, we have also been through similar things. And I'm going to talk just quickly about our mums. Like, we both lost our mums, and we both had situations where we grew from on our own even. And I think it's so amazing because there's just so much understanding. There's so much understanding, and there's so much, I don't even know what word to use, honestly.
Empathy, maybe empathy.
Yeah, empathy could work.
We even like psychically protect each other. We clear each other's energy. We're opposite hours, like she goes to bed 2:00 in the afternoon for me. So in my evenings, my afternoons and evenings, I still look out for her, and I'll check in with her sometimes while she's sleeping. I'll send her a little note, hope you're sleeping well, because I know she'll wake up and see it, and she'll smile, And so it's like, we'll do these little things for each other. We'll send each other love and energy and blessings. And then we might leave each other a message about something we just figured out or learned. And by the time the other person wakes up, we're just delighted by all these cute little messages. And anything we can do to make each other laugh or lift each other. Oh my gosh, we've laughed so hard that we've cried. So and we've gone from like sometimes like fuming mad and upset and crying and everything to the end of the conversation cracking up and exhausted because we're just like, I'm going to sleep so good tonight. Like we made some huge breakthroughs. I can't even tell you how many times have we been in some kind of wonky energy when we get on with each other. And then by the time we're done, we're just like in a totally blissed out, awesome, state. Or, oh my gosh, my life makes sense now. Like life changing sometimes. And we're, oh, that's why I've always done that. But this is what friendship can be, and I mean, who knows, maybe a couple of years from now, we'll be looking at today going like, oh, that kind of sucked. Because now is really awesome. I mean,
Well, I'm up for that, but not maybe.
We were just babies back then.
For sure.
Now we're totally telepathic. Now we don't even have to talk. It's just like.
I love that. That would be so cool. Amy.
Oh, it should be about, and calling each other on your shit too. We're really good about that too, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Really? Is that really how you think of that? Oh, okay. So it's cool. It's cool. So just try to have your friends there where they are, and hopefully you can just find or be drawn to friendships where you guys can actually not strive to reinforce your ego, but be committed to setting it free. And how many times like sometimes, I mean, a lot, I'll say, you need to do Byron Katie on that. or I need to do Byron Katie on that. Like, you don't have to tell me, I know. This is, and then she'll be like, do you want to do it with me or by yourself? I'm like, by myself. I'll just share with you what I get from it. So, okay.
I think one more thing is that just make a little prayer for these friendships.
Yay. And to either maybe cultivate this in a friendship that you already have that you feel could have this potential or already is like this, to have more of it, to have more friends. Like, we don't get jealous of each other too. We go meet new people. We'll come back. Oh, I met this really awesome neighbor. Or oh my gosh, I just ran into this really cool person. We have all this in common. And we're like, oh my gosh, that is so incredible. More joy for your life, more enjoyment, more entertainment, more fun. And, all right. A blessing to either maintain, find, or draw more of these types of friendships that help you grow and learn and feel positive and inspired.
Okay, telepathy already works, because just before you said blessing, I thought the word blessing.
See, this happens for us all the time too. Like the synchronicities is just like we're always.
Yeah.
Okay. Hamanai ken se na heila hipum homa anate kensa shishe san sela enate hipupuma hana ai kensa sena ai. Okay, so I just felt the energy of somebody being jealous of our friendship, which is absolutely fine, but if you want to have a friendship like this for yourself, and this may not be you, this may be just somebody I'm picking up on the side here, but the more we can be like, this is a friendship. So we also have the romantic things that are about to start happening, our unions and things like that, right? And as those things start to happen, the more that we can be excited for the other person and just be like, I love these vibes. These vibes feel so fantastic. I know this can happen for me too. The better and faster you're going to bring it in for yourself. So try not to be in that negative energy of being upset with it or put off by it or defensive about it or feel like it won't happen for you, or just wanting to attack it or anything like that, you can invite this in, and you can have this too. You can have a friendship like this too, or a relationship or a union or whatever it is, that good that happens to somebody else. Be excited for them. Be truly, entirely. You could be depressed as hell and really down in the dumps, and your friend says, I'm getting married. Don't think about yourself in that moment. Do not think about yourself. Just be so excited and elated for that other person that's getting married, without comparing your situation to it. And it'll bring you in a higher vibration to attract that into your own life. Do you have something to say about that?
Yes. I mean, also you have a friendship with yourself. Remember that
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
I mean, you are always with yourself. So learning to love yourself and validate yourself. And sure, every one of us has days and moments and whatever where we are not our own best friend in that way. But it really is important that you find out who you want to be, who you are, and work on that. And on all levels. And ultimately, only you can make yourself happy. And your friends are like we said before, it's like a reward,
Yeah, it's the whipped cream on top.
Yeah.
We know how to provide our own needs for ourselves. We don't really need each other, but boy, do we bring a lot of joy to each other. And,
I mean, sure, you always have these times where kind of you need the other one, because your ego is like running wild. But that is not like a daily thing. That is not a thing where it's like, oh my God, it's more like when something really flares up and it's like, okay, can you help me with this?
mm-hmm.
And it's also like, even if the other one would say like, oh, I cannot right now, we accept that. It's not like the other person needs to help us in that moment or whatever. It's like, okay, when you can, would you mind having me look at that, ponder about it, etc.
Yeah.
The
other day I wanted to make Kartoffelpuffer, which is hash browns. I like making hash browns and eggs sometimes while I'm talking to her. So I was like, do you want to get together for breakfast? My breakfast, which would be her dinner. So she says, she goes, no, I'm going to go on a run. I'm going to go do this, that. And I was like, and so I just left a message. I said, my Kartoffelpuffer will not be the same without you. And she was like, oh, but she didn't say, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to go on my run. Let me stay. It was like, she knew it wasn't important. If it was important, maybe she would have dropped the run, but she knew it wasn't. And I was just kind of whining because I enjoy my Kartoffelpuffer much better with her. So what she did was she was like, this morning I get this message and she's just like, let's have Kartoffelpuffer this morning. And I was like, oh, it's like she remembered it from the other day. And she was just like, let's do that this morning. Let's have a special day where we're gonna both make our Kartoffelpuffer. And I was just like, God, that is so sweet, because she remembered that I kind of whined about it a little bit. Aww. And so thank you. I never did say that meant a lot. But
I think I'm sorry if you hear the music. It's from my neighbor. I don't know if you hear it or not. Okay, then it's only me. However, I'm having background music in my space. Okay. And what I think I actually answered you because I was already on the run, and I was like, okay, I think I'm going to try to. I mean, just funny because I didn't want to run less time or less kilometers or whatever, but I think I said like, okay, I'm going to try to run a bit faster, it's like yeah.
So we're thoughtful and considerate about giving back to each other and stuff, so we're always trying to keep things in check or in balance, and if there's ever an imbalance, we communicate it to each other and we ask for what we want. We don't expect the other person to read our minds. Oh, if they were a good friend, they would know what I need and how I need it. Blah, blah, blah.
With that, it's like you don't sometimes even know what you want yourself.
Yeah, that's true
So how
too.
can you expect someone else to know it all?
That's
You
so
can't.
true. So yeah, all right. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Hopefully you got something out of this. Have a good one. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.